Using MeiLiang watercolor paints today and just squiggling on the paint in this circular shape, changing colours as I go. I've got this lovely brown colour with this royal blue. You could use any colours you want. You may just want to use just one colour, you may want to use 4 or 5 different colours, whatever you think is best. So really giving it a good old squiggle and laying that paint down in this circular shape. And while the paint is still wet, I've got these watercolour pencils and I'm sort of dragging that paint up to the next layer. The pencils are getting a bit wet and they're leaving a thicker line. As I go further up the page, the paint has dried a little bit, so it gives a different kind of look. If you haven't got watercolour pencils, wait until your paint's dry and then just layer on some pencil shapes over the top. It will give a very similar look. When you're happy with all the mark making that you've done there, then you may want to outline the tape, the masking tape, just to give it a lovely border. When you peel that tape away, it gives you a kind of frame. I've got some lovely lush silver ink here and a little brush. It's a bit of an old brush, so I'm not too worried about it. And then I am just layering these lines over the top. Got a couple of pencils in the same colours, same colour that I've done these pencil marks. I just want to put some marks over this silver ink and see what that looks like. Quite like the way that looks. Sort of mirroring this sort of line look that we've already got. Just continuing ground. Just keep going. Get a bit of hand ache after a bit, but that's okay. Then where it changes to brown, changing to a brown pencil, just because I want it, no particular reason, just because in my head it just said change to the brown, see what that's like. So just going round and then changing to the blue, just because we're on the blue section. So this is really simple, easy, doodle art, about being in the moment, about enjoying the experience, not worrying too much about what the outcome is. Just being in that moment, enjoying the art, I think is really quite pleasurable. If you get all het up, all upset about it, think, oh God, it's not going right. Why isn't it going right? I want it to look like this and it won't. Then it can be quite frustrating. You can get quite upset and then think, I'm not doing that anymore. Put the pencils down, put your paint down and never go back to it, which is such a shame. You don't really know what you're capable of until you try. So I think being free in that moment, just saying it's okay if it doesn't turn out quite how you want it. And sometimes you make a piece of art and you think, actually I quite like that. That's turned out really well. I wasn't expecting that. I just love those surprises. Shade round the silver. It'll just help the silver pop a little bit more. You've got a bit of a dark edge to it. So if you think of opposites when you're painting, if you want a vibrant painting, you want to use opposite colours, opposite shades, opposite tones, and that will assist with bringing one colour forward and leaving the other colour behind. It gives it a bit of a 3D kind of effect. If you want your painting to look calm and soothing, then you would use colours from the same side of the colour wheel. So can you see how that's starting to look? I'm going to use the brown for shading here. Bring that round. You might not want to do this shading. You might think, no, actually I quite like it the way it is. Or you might start doing the shading and think, oh, I wish I hadn't started that. Or you can just stop. Nobody's going to notice that you've done a bit of shading in one place and not another. Only you will know that. So don't be frightened. Let yourself go to it. Free in that moment to just enjoy that inner child. You're just free. Just as you would have done when you were a kid. Scribbling in, colouring in. How pleasurable that was. That's why kids do it, because they like doing it. I think as an adult, you tend to think, well, it's got to be perfect. It's not perfect. I'm going to get upset. Life isn't perfect. Nor should your paintings be. It should just be an extension of you. Just your take on what you think art should be. Just enjoy your time that you've got to just indulge. I always find art is very good if you're feeling lonely, upset for any reason. It's a good form of escapism, where you're just in the moment and you're not really thinking about anything else apart from the marks that you're making. So, I quite like that. I might go around again here with a blue pencil just to mark that off the edges. And when you've done that, then peel away the tape, and then it reveals your lovely picture. I've got a little frame around it here just so you can see what it would look like if you did put it in a picture frame. And I think it looks quite lush. Love those colours together, love that silver ink, and I think the lines have worked really well on this. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed doing it and spending time with you, and hope to see you soon.